I'm not sure if it gets much worse than this. Porygon, Haunter, and one giant. What is going on, everyone? Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, and if you're a returning subscriber like Anna88, thank you for the support. In today's video, we are taking a look at some battles in the Open Great League featuring another spicy evolution line, and this time it's going to be Porygon, Porygon2, and Porygon-Z. All three of these Pokemon are normal type, all three of them share the same weakness, and of course, all three of them on the same team is going to make for one great meme. Let's jump into it. So we will be featuring two sets of battles for this video, the first set coming from the previous Great League rotation, and the second set from the current rotation. And one of the things you are going to notice with this team immediately is that it has almost zero fast move pressure. The only Pokemon on this team that is somewhat applying fast move pressure is Porygon, the original one from Kanto, with the legacy move Tackle. Porygon also has access to Quick Attack, however, that is an unobtainable legacy move, which means even with an elite fast TM, you cannot gain access to it. Thus, Tackle is the best option for Porygon, and we'll be looking to operate that as the closer on this team. Now we are running Porygon2 as the lead Pokemon, and we are going to land this Zap Cannon on the Azumarill, and although we are going to outpace to this Tri-Attack, I'm actually going to choose to not throw this move, let the Azumarill dump its energy, and use this opportunity to build an energy lead with Porygon-Z. Winning switch with this team obviously does not matter because all three of these Pokemon are going to have the same weakness, especially in a situation like this against Chestnut, where our only chance of winning is by having a massive energy lead. This allows us to get off two Tri-Attacks, and if you're wondering just how glassy Porygon-Z actually is, even with a 2-stage attack debuff, Frenzy Plant still takes us out. The opponent is staying in, trying to force the final shield, so we are going to tackle down. And for some reason, Porygon1 does not have access to Tri-Attack, so that means we are running Hyper Beam instead, and Porygon has a dream to leave this Quagsire dead. Bang! There it is. A shot so nice, we must see it twice. I've never seen someone no-sell a low blow like Quagsire, no reaction, and the Hyper Beam did so much damage, it even took out the remainder of that Chestnut in the back. One battle in, and we're already tied with Chelsea for total wins in the past 6 months. But that's going to be where the good times end, because Steelix in the lead is not what we want to see. Basically resisting every single move on this team except for Solar Beam. So we are going to swap out into Porygon-Z. The opponent's going to lower our attack with a Breaking Swipe. I prefer they stay in, but they swap out into a Stunfisk. However, it's not Galarian, so they're walking into a Solar Beam. Bang! There it is. Now the Breaking Swipe actually means they do survive. It probably makes no difference in terms of the outcome of this battle, but I guess that would depend on whether or not Porygon-Z would be able to reach another move against this Steelix, because even a Tri-Attack would be enough to potentially flip the outcome of this battle, depending on what the opponent's final Pokemon is. So we're going to play this out, throw the Tri-Attack here at the Steelix. Opponent is going to burn a shield. We swap out into Porygon. They come in with the Skarmory, another steel type, but it's also part flying, which means it is taking super effective damage from Discharge, another legacy move for Porygon. And at this point in the battle, I think the only win con was to shield up that Sky Attack and then to try committing to a tackle down. Now obviously they might outpace us to a Sky Attack before we're even able to tackle down a Skarmory, but hypothetically, even if we did and got to 2 discharges, I'm not even sure it's going to be enough to take out the Steelix. So we do end up losing that battle, but considering that Steelix walls all 3 of our Pokemon, I thought it was pretty close. But I mean, at that point, you're just thinking like Chelsea. Oh, we got a draw. It's almost a win. Oh, we only lost by 1 goal and we had a red card. It's almost a win. It doesn't work like that, so we lost. Let's move on to the next one. Porygon2 into Umbreon. This is a pretty decent lead to see. I decided to go for 1 Zap Cannon instead of building up to 2 Tri-Attacks. Then I'm going to swap out into Porygon-Z. The opponent's going to bank some energy and come in with a Beedrill. And this is giving me a little bit of PTSD because this Beedrill is running Fell Stinger. And I'm not really sure what's up with all the Fell Stinger Beedrills. When X Scissor was bad, everyone ran X Scissor. X Scissor gets a buff, and now they're running Fell Stinger. Am I missing something? I probably am. Anyways, you live by the Fell Stinger, you die by the Fell Stinger. Porygon2 taking that damage, we swap out into Porygon, tackle down the B, and now we have a 1 shield advantage. Opponent still has 2 Pokemon. They come in with a Swampert, and I was hoping they would not know the moveset, because honestly, when was the last time you saw a Porygon and knew its moveset? If I was up against one, I'd assume it has Tri-Attack actually, even though it doesn't. Shows how much I know. But that's okay because now we are committed to the Discharge and this battle is pretty much over except the opponent chose not to shield. And they have 2 Dark Pulses ready, so we swap out into Porygon to tank 1. And then we come in with Porygon 1 to tank number 2. And now it's going to become a race. Who do you have your bets on? Porygon, Umbreon, checking with VAR. And it's Porygon with the tackle down. That last battle was brought to you by the Federal 3rd Shield Reserve. Saving shields since Season 1. Donate yours today. Let's hop into the next battle and we have the one Pokemon you never want to see with this team, or at least one of many, Medicham. Now I could sit here and act like there are ways to play out this matchup, and that's probably what I'm going to do. But in reality, there isn't. So we're going to do the only thing we know how to. Throw a Tri-Attack to try and lower the attack, swap out into Porygon-Z, and the opponent comes in with Noctowl. And of course this happens to be the only Porygon on this team not running an electric type move. So instead of potentially taking out this Noctowl with a Zap Cannon, still having a decent amount of HP on the Porygon-Z, we get taken out, forced to come in with Porygon 1, and at this point I would consider just taking out this Medicham an accomplishment. In fact, I would love to see what the 3rd Pokemon is. Sometimes in these ranks you never know. I mean, this guy ran into a triple Porygon team. Who's to say I can't run into something worse? They will let the Medicham go down, and it's a Galarian Stunfisk. So not only did that team have a fighting type that was impossible to beat, but also a steel type, which is just as difficult to beat. So in that matchup, we were looking like the Denver Broncos against the Miami Dolphins, 70-20. In the words of Vincent Kennedy McMahon, we had no chance in hell. But we are now 2-2 playing for a positive set. Porygon2 into Pelipper. This is a pretty decent matchup here. We're going to shield up once, and the opponent doesn't want to risk getting hit by that Zap Cannon, so they swap out into Galarian Stunfisk. We don't have a good answer here, so we're going to throw a Tri-Attack to try and put this in the range of a Solar Beam with the lower defense. Porygon-Z can surprisingly tank an Earthquake, but the same cannot be said for Stunfisk. Bang! There it is. Now we are landing a lot of nukes with this team for some big damage, but if we don't get a win to show for it, what does it matter? Porygon2 coming back in here, dealing some damage with the Tri-Attack. Pelipper going to take us out, and once again, all of our faith is going to be put into the hands of Porygon, the original from Kanto. And now that I'm taking a closer look at it, I don't think this thing has any hands. But it's not going to matter anyways because they have a Sableye in the back. And unfortunately, we do not have the right nuke for this situation. If only Porygon could learn Tri-Attack, then I wouldn't need the Discharge and we could run something like Zap Cannon. I have no idea why Niantic does not give Porygon either Lock-On or Tri-Attack. If they're afraid it's going to be OP, believe me, it's not. Even at level 40, this thing is extremely glassy and it needs all the help it can get. So once the Great League rotation finished, I played a little bit of Ultra League, and then I did what I do best. Sat on the couch for a few weeks doing nothing until Great League came back. So here we go, triple Porygon take 2, and if you enjoyed the first set of battles, this second set is even better. And while Tri-Attack has a 50% chance to lower the opponent's attack and defense, in this set, it got close to 90%. Porygon coming in to win on the CMP. Lower defense means Tri-Attack takes them out. They come in with a Stunfisk. We are going to build towards that beam. Rock Slide will not KO. And this time the Stunfisk defense has not been lowered by Tri-Attack, but it doesn't matter. Bang, there it is. Even though it's not a knockout, it puts this Stunfisk in tri-attack range, so you better believe we are going to shield up this Rock Slide, want to take out this Stunfisk and find out what is left in the back. Opponent lets that go through. They come in with a Knock Towel, not going to reach the Zap Cannon, so we just go for the tri-attack. We get the attack and defense to drop. It was at this exact moment that the opponent lost their mind, simply could not believe what they were seeing on their screen. 3 Porygons. They have reached the point of confusion in which they are throwing a ghost type move at a normal type Pokemon, basically providing me with a 3rd shield. But we are going to build up to 2 Discharge. First one gets the shield, second one gets that bang. There it is. Knock Towel taken out. Off to a 1-0 start in this set. Let's hop into battle number 2. And sometimes you are going to see Medicham, sometimes you're going to see Steelix, other times you're going to get the dream lead like this. Unfortunately though, the opponent swaps out into Gligar, and we don't exactly have a great answer. But you don't need it when you're getting that tri-attack debuff at the opposite of a Chelsea win rate. That's 100%. And all of a sudden this matchup that didn't look so good is starting to look real nice. Going to shield up this Aerial Ace, look to commit to the lock on down, and all the opponent has left is double Shadow Claw users. This is going to be fun. Went straight for the nuke hoping they wouldn't shield. Unfortunately they do. So now we just go for the tri-attack. At this point the game felt the opponent was already at too much of a disadvantage to give them another debuff. But we are going to force the 2nd shield. That is going to clear the path for Porygon-Z with that Solar Beam. Would much rather prefer to land this on the Alolan Sandslash as opposed to having them catch onto Galissopod. And this is likely to be the only battle you'll see where Porygon2 and Porygon-Z are made to look like gods. I mean, just look at this Shadow Claw damage. Are you kidding me? It's literally tickling the Porygon. It's reached a point where the game is feeling such pity for the opponent, they even gave them the Liquidation Defense drop, trying to help them out any way possible right now. But it's not going to matter. We are actually 2-0 in this set right now with the triple Porygon team. Somebody wake me up from this dream, because we're jumping into battle number 3 and it's a Porygon2 into a Haunter. And clearly someone took that personally, because the dream just turned into a nightmare. Shadow Steelix, this is going to be problematic. We have only one hope. Need to land the Solar Beam. I mean, there's a chance they let it go. Tri-attack plus Zap Cannon. They're resisting everything. No need to shield. But the opponent knows when to hold them, knows when to fold them. They're not a gambler, so they're gonna play it safe and shield up. And the worst part about this is that our attacks are already doing nothing to Steelix, and with each breaking swipe, they're doing even less. So at this point, I have no choice but to shield up here. I can't allow my Porygon in the back to have its attack drop from a breaking swipe without the possibility of swapping out to reset that debuff. And we're actually able to tackle down. And what the heck is this thing on my screen? I have never seen this Pokemon before. In fact, I have no idea what this is. So technically, if I don't know what this Pokemon is, since I can't hatch one, do I even see it? And I think the opponents also got the point there, and magically, this random Pokemon I've never seen before just stopped attacking. But I felt it would only be fair to no shield here and give the opponent an opportunity to win. And I was a little bit confused because they stopped attacking, then they were attacking, but then they hit no bubbles. So anyways, I started BMing, and I'm not really sure if it gets much worse than a Hyper Beam to a Haunter from a Porygon. I think it's pretty safe to say I would have lost that match if it played out normally, but we take those. We also take Hypnos in the lead, because according to PvPoke, this looks like a pretty decent matchup, although I think I probably should have built up to the Zap Cannon, because I think this match is pretty dependent on landing that Zap Cannon. Doesn't look like Tri-Attack is enough to take out Hypno, unless we get the debuff from Tri-Attack, which looks like it's no longer 100% for us. And as a result of that, we somehow turned a pretty great matchup for Porygon2 into a losing matchup in the 0 vs 1. That's pretty bad. And then to make things worse, I came in here thinking I could lock on down a Shadow Hypno, and instead I lose 50% of my HP while burning my second shield and going down 2 shields to 0. And then when you thought things couldn't get any worse, the cherry on top is that they have a Medicham in the back, plus a third Pokemon which we're not even going to see. And I think what happens here is that we were 3-0, we were getting a little bit too carried away with the Porygon team, and the game just wanted to give us a reality check. Like, yeah, you might have won 3 in a row, but don't you forget, this team sucks. And so do you. So thank you. 3-1, let's hop into battle number 5. Porygon2 into Quagsire. We swap out into Porygon-Z. The only real difference here is that Porygon-Z could one-shot with Solar Beam. Not really looking to invest any shield, so I'm just going to go for the Solar Beam Dream. They're going to shield that up, but we're actually able to get to this Tri-Attack on the CMP tie. And of course, Porygon-Z has a very high attack stats, so we are going to win CMP, but perhaps even more importantly, take a 2 shield advantage. So we will come back in with the Porygon2, going to tank this first Mud Bomb. It's not dealing too much damage, but it is going to spam these out at a very rapid rate. Second one is going to get a shield, going to look to throw the Tri-Attack here. This isn't going to be enough to take out the Quagsire. They are going to get off one more Mud Bomb, going to preserve my final shield because we all know Porygon is going to need it. The opponent comes in with a Noctowl, sacrificing it to the gods. Bang! There it is. Alolan Sandslash in the back, and you would think this is a wrap. However, we don't get the Tri-Attack debuff, and they're not running Shadow Claw. They're running Powder Snow. So this matchup actually becomes significantly worse now for Porygon. I don't think we're in Ice Punch range, but we're definitely getting close to Drill Run range. An Ice Punch bait for the opponent might mean checkmate. If this is Drill Run, they win. Ice Punch, they swap out. Porygon able to tackle down the Steel type, absolutely living up to the hype that never existed. 4-1 with the triple Porygon team. This was an absolute fluke. If Porygon ever gains access to Tri-Attack or a better fast move that does not require an Elite TM, it could have some play. But for now, it's just spice. If you enjoyed this, please consider leaving a like and a comment down below. See you in the next video.